Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Euroleague Day 8. This evening at 8 p.m. Central European Time, we have RA1D versus the Immortals. Commentating with me is Ark. Running the stream.
Hello.
Yeah, running the stream is Gan. We've got 4 games for you this evening: 2 on Dead Rail, 2 on Himmelsdorf, 2 winter maps. Very exciting lineups here. Just to set the record straight, Immortals are my clan. My commentary will be slightly biased, but I'm going to try and work on that. Ark, what are your thoughts of the match coming up?
Well, quite interesting actually, as IMMOR did beat Win and Win did beat RA1D on Wednesday. Quite interesting lineups. Everybody has their own tactics. I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and we've seen some really at 7 p.m. Central European Time, also streamed by Gan. We had Alert versus Win, same maps. We've also got the interview by BTA Jeff of Win on Gan's channel, and the interview with James, one of the deputies from the Immortals clan, on Gan's channel as well. Please do check them out. But now we're kicking off. I'm going to comment for RA1D. Because it'll be unfair if I don't. We've got a 215B, IS4, IS7, M48, 2 268s, and an E5.
Yeah. As for Immortals, we have a bad chat spotting, as well as in 183 as a TD. 3 IS4, so 1 mouse and 268, with basically a heavy lineup focused more around A and B.
Yep, and we're looking at, RA1D are in the red team, Immortals in the blue team. Very interesting at the moment. Immortals have got HP lead. They've taken some damage, hits on Rib IS7 and Drizzle IS4 from RA1D. And if we look at the minimap, what we are seeing here, RA1D very spread out, Immortals focusing A and B with the TDs at the back.
Yeah, Batchet has successfully capped B for Immortals, but he still takes a hit from the 268 at the back. So now he's retreating back to the spawn.
Which is very smart, very, very smart. He's taken a hit, he's relocating, he's not spotted, he's got B, which is the hardest cap to get, and now he looks like he's pushing towards the A base. No, the C base.
Probably going to try and get some spots in for the allied tank destroyer, as well as the spread of the heavy tanks for Immortals is really strong. It's quite equal, and it just ensures that if someone tries to push it, it'll be a crossfire for the enemy.
Yeah, and Immortals at the moment, there's a slight cap lead in their favor. Their hit points are pretty much neck and neck. Both teams with some tanks taking some damage. Not many people spotted by RA1D at the moment. Just Rib in the IS7 and Hamas in the IS4 from Immortals. So both teams feeling each other out. There's not much in it. It's a quick stop on the cap or 1 kill to equalize or reset the scores in the team's favor. It'll be really interesting to see where the action happens on this map. We've got RA1D stacked up behind C and the Immortals stacked up behind A. So it could really swing on a knife edge here at the moment.
Yeah, and actually the positioning of IS4s, I think this is a really favored position in random games by mediums and sometimes autoloaders with great gun depression. But in this case, they put IS4s here. Quite an interesting choice, probably because of their armor, but the gun depression doesn't really allow them to put any effective shots in, so it's basically a defensive formation.
Yeah, and Fluffy Fox from Immortals in the bat chat down. This gives the advantage to RA1D. He really overexposed, and before that, Immortals were trading very effectively with RA1D. And now Andre, Miku, 500, and Imkuga are losing hit points, the 268 and the mouse from Immortals. And Immortals are in quite a difficult position here because they're bleeding hit points and they've lost the cap point lead and are a gun down.
Yeah, actually, Immortals, in my opinion, while they're losing C, while they have a mouse and a destroyer holding there, 2 destroyers holding there, I think they should try and push A right now, which they are doing right now, taking out the Rib from RA1D.
Yeah, the initiative is definitely now in RA1D's favor. Rib's gone, but Andre Miku, 500 mouse, Imkuga, 268, and now even IMMOR in the IS4, and Kadeta James in the IS4 taking big hits. They're bleeding hit points. They're over 3,000 hit points down.
Yeah, Messi from Raid is going now in with his pattern, trying to probably get the 1A3 out of the game for Immortals, while Ice Force are not paying attention more to the spawn. And there's one isolated Ice 4 Brawl trying to kill the 268 from Raid, but he's now losing by hit points.
And Trollocs D in the 183 from Immortals is in a lot of trouble. He's being pushed by the double E5 Messi 18 and Thin Blue by Raid. Can he get a shot off in time? Because that could make a big difference. But to be honest, it's two guns, IMMOR and Trollocs D. Now it's just down to IMMOR. It looks like Immortals have lost this one for sure.
Yeah, it's a 1 versus 5. There's no way getting out of this unless there's really awkward RNG going on, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I agreed. I think IMMOR, this is game over. Let's just see how long he can hold on for. 13 hit points, no hit points, gone. Good game to Raid there.
Yeah, quite an interesting delay for Immortals not to push A while they see that there's 3 or 4 tanks pushing C at the same time, taking out the light tank, and they are brawling with the destroyers as well as the mouse. So maybe that delay kind of got them there, but then again, you were not quite sure what tanks you have for Raid near A, so that was quite a risky push to do as well.
Definitely, the uncertainty of the positions of Raid's tanks would have factored into the uncertainty of Immortal's push, but the hit points are very clear. It's almost 6,000 hit points in the favor of Raid, a very dominant showing there. And I think Immortals didn't capitalize. You know, when they saw that the enemy tanks were getting spotted on one flank, they didn't flex effectively enough. They didn't counter push, and that's heartbreaking because I'm an Immortals player myself. It's always sad to see our clan go down. But Raid are an extremely effective team, and they're demonstrating this quite effectively. But now, switching the spawns, seeing what's going to happen again on Dead Rail.
Yeah, actually quite interesting as they are considering, Immortals are considering 2 1A3s in this game. In the yes, they're actually readying up their 1A3s and they're ready to go. And they have a grill as well, so that's gonna be quite interesting.
That's a lot of DPM, and to be honest, the double 183 strat is something that we've seen ready to kill. R2K Dash, one of the top EU clans at the moment, alongside Legion. If you're looking at the scoreboards and in terms of certainly win rates and damage per battle games, double 183, a very strong call on this map. But if Raid have experienced this before, I'm expecting they'll know an effective counter to the strategy by Immortals.
Yeah, one original position for 1A3 is taken by Trollo, his 1A3, and now the Fluffy Fox is basically taking the same position actually. So if one of them is being found, the other one is gonna probably get screwed over as well.
But they are people don't realize this, being up against the back line here on the blue 1 and 2, they're quite far back from the action. And they have got a very commanding field of fire, and it's quite tricky without overexposing for the enemy to spot them. This game, I think it's really going to be a game of pushing the spawns, pushing the caps rather, trying to get the opposition TD spotted without taking damage in return. We've got 2 268s on the side of Raid, and a grill and 2 183s on the side of Immortals, and this is going to be I think it's going to be a damage-centric game that we're seeing here.
Yeah, and it seems like the M48 pattern from Immortals IMMOR is spotting C while Grill's trying to lay down some effective fire, but it doesn't seem like it's working that well. The all 3 tanks that are near C for Raid are still full HP. We may expect a push from Raid on C if the situation requires that. Also, it's actually 4 destroyers, so it's a really defensive way of playing from Immortals. As
Yeah, aim Cougar in the 268, yeah.
Yeah, and quite interesting. I understand the choice. This map is quite large, and you have an open field of fire. But 2 183s with their one of the worst accuracies for tank destroyers in tier 10. Maybe not the best choice, but they still pack a punch, basically deterring Raid from pushing in.
They really,
yeah.
Yeah, the 183s are really a sort of an area denial threat. it's such a deterrent, you know, being able to lose 1,000 hit points quite reliably if you push a certain flank. So Raid know that Immortals have those two 183s around the back line of their spawn, so they're very hesitant to push. And I agree with you. I think running 4 TDs is, I mean, it's very defensive, but at the same time, it has a lot of weaknesses as a strategy for Immortals. Raid have got a much more dynamic lineup in terms of both the TDs that they've taken and the number of heavies that they have on the field. But it's really going to come down to who's going to crack first. This could be the kind of game that you see a point to draw on, to be honest. Both teams know that if they push, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and actually the best part is that Immortals are actually trading HP a lot better from the beginning than Raid are, as they have 3 tanks damaged for Raid, and only the pattern has been damaged by Raid.
And it's a small shot on the pattern, so although Raid have a slight hit point lead, they've actually given away more hit points, and this is, if you think about the tank composition, really going to work against them in the long term if they keep up this ratio of trading.
Yeah, and I never really saw a situation with equal points game ending when you don't have equal HP, which I guess if you don't have, like, if you have not even the same amount of HP, only points matter. But we're gonna see, like, I've never encountered a situation where, like, there would be a deciding factor by HP or something, so I'm not quite certain.
This is a very, maybe if you're a viewer at home, you're not finding this terribly interesting, but I'm sure Ark and I, this is a very interesting game just in terms of strategy, because we have two top European clans here, basically up against one another, high DPM sat in the backfield. They're trying to spot, they're trying to get an advantage, not overexposed with the spotters. And also looking at cap points, there's such an equal spread of fire and observation ranges here. And the question is, who's going to flex first? Who's going to rotate? Is someone going to flex? Is someone going to rotate? And we're looking for tanks converging on one part of the field. If the closer we get to the 7-minute mark, the more effective one kill will be, because that's all that's in it at the moment is one kill. And we're looking at Raid capping A. I think this is the bold move here. Who's capping at the moment? It is...
He's actually, oh no, he actually gets reset by the 268, which gets punished for Immortals, but he still did reset with high explosive. So yeah, I guess this is still a stalemate with the chance of the 268 going down if they ever try and push it into the front lines, which they certainly won't do. So, I mean, if right now, like, Raid had a moment when their DDs were not really covering A properly, I think a nice 4 could go there, but the lack of intelligence again, the lack of spotting, which you cannot really do on this map for destroyers at the back without pushing some scouts through one of the flanks, basically prevented Raid from losing A, in my opinion, as taking down a nice 4 even with HG didn't hit him in the first place in an A cap could be quite difficult.
Yeah, and I think if we're looking at the damage spread here, it looks like Immortals potentially inflicted more damage during the course of the battle.
Yeah, they certainly did. Yeah, because they only have 3 tanks damaged, and one of them is at 500 HP. But then you have, as it seems, 5 tanks damaged for Raid, and they've taken quite considerable damage, at least 500 each. One of the tanks, one being at 600 HP right now.
But there was a big hit on Kadetha there. He's now down to 283 HP, and that, I am sure, gives the damage inflicted advantage to Raid. And we've got 15 seconds left, and this is what it's going to come down to, is the damage inflicted, because the team that inflicts the most damage will take this game. So, is someone going to push? Are they going to make the big hit? And actually, looking now at the scores, maybe Immortals will take this. Messi 18, huge hit taken there, and I think it's going to go to Immortals if we're looking at the damage output. And we've got 3,895 damage inflicted by Raid, but 4,902 damage inflicted by Immortals. As far as I'm concerned, on the damage ratio, that's a victory to Immortals, which leaves us at 1-1 going into the Himmelsdorf map.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. One of the rules that I think we have set up in Blitz Event Community Tournament, Euroleague, is that if you don't win by points, if it's a draw, you need to do the most damage, and that's what Immortals have succeeded in.
Yeah,
So
and I think it literally happened in the last 15 seconds there, with Messi pushing around the corner and just taking an absolute beating from Immortals. So we're readying up now on Himmelsdorf. What are you expecting, Ark?
First of all, actually, the announcer of Blitz Event Community, Dutch, has actually announced that Immortals have won by damage. So it's 1-1. It's a tie right now. So it all comes down to how well the both teams perform on Himmelsdorf. Uh, what I expect, though, is still kind of a stalemate. Maybe first game, maybe an aggressive push by Raid or Immortals. Either can be had. Like the predictions cannot be really made. Raid are really unpredictable as they've changed tactics over and over again, while uh, Immortals have stuck with their values and tactics, and they did not change it a lot. But some minor changes still make a lot of difference in games like these. So it's certainly interesting.
And looking now at the whole round 2 table, the fact that both teams are going equal, it puts them in pretty good stead. Normally we'd expect one team to win, one team to lose. The fact that they're going peg and peg at the moment for the other teams is a bit concerning, because it's everything to play for them, and we know that we're through for sure, going through to the playoffs for the final of the Blitz Event Community European League, but the other 5 teams have still got everything to play for. And when you've got teams like this drawing, it puts them in quite a good position, because they're not losing, and the teams that lose ultimately the stage are the ones that get punished. So for Raid and the Immortals, it's not the best news, but it's okay news. And now we're in, looking at Raid, we've got an E100, IS4, double IS, triple IS7, Jagd Panzer, and a mouse. I'm very excited to see Messi 18 in the Jagd Panzer. I think this is one of the first times we've seen the Jaeger played on Himmelsdorf in Clan Wars on the Blitz Event Community European League.
Yeah, as for Immortals, we have two FV25Bs, a really strong heavy tank actually, which can't side scrape, disregarding many beliefs, but it has really good DPM, and that's, I hope, what they will be putting it into use. They have 2 IS4s, 2 mouses, and an E5. Quite interesting choice, an E5 on this map, as there are not many positions where you can stay hold down and only show your turret.
There are a few. I mean, they're not. I agree with you. They're not many. But Beans 57 in the IS4 down already from Immortals, less than 2 minutes in. I agree. There's not many places you can make an E5 sing on this map, but there are enough where an E5 can hold the choke point. It's got very good gun handling, quite good DPM, quite good penetration. It's a bit of an all-rounder, and the mobility is nothing to be sniffed at in terms of a city fight here. But Immortals not dealing very well with the initial. Okay, they've got the cap lead, they've got A and C, but they're a gun down, and Andre Miku 500 is in a lot of trouble in that mouse.
Yeah, and it's quite unfortunate that Immortals have already lost a nice for a really strong tank to put in a side scraping position, but I guess the Yak Panzer 100 comes into play right there, and I think that's what made all the difference.
Yeah, and Raid are pushing into the C cap now, but Drizzle in the IS4 gone. However, we have lost Andre Miku in the mouse. It's really going to be a question of who can trade effectively now. The push is coming from Raid. They are the aggressive party. How do Immortals respond? Beans down, Beans 57, IS4. Down to the beginning is a big loss for Immortals. It puts them on the back foot. But let's see how they recover from this.
Yeah, Immortals are now losing by points because C-Cap is not being controlled by them or Raid for now. And now Raid have finally taking it over, although I didn't see much point because equal amount of caps and still taking points lead because one of the caps has been denied for the Immortals would be fine, but now the push has been stalemated for Raid. There's only 2 tanks against 3, and IMMOR in his FV25B is coming in to join.
And Fimbuloo down, but we've also from Immortals. If Immortals are smart here, they can push Messi. However, Messi is a very strong tank with the Jaegeru, Messi 18, Jagdpanzer E100. A very strong armor profile here. Huge damage into Gazether, the Immortals mouse there. Trollocs XD and IMMOR, well, Trollocs XD at a one-shot. IMMOR holding on to the hit points of Immortals. Wait for Green IS7 and JP IX7 pushing around, supporting Messi. I'm going to call it. I think Raid are going to take this game.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. I think IMMOR in his FV25B did wait for too long against the IS-7, but he can still do this as he's only 1 shot away, but I don't think IS-7's gonna be that slow. Oh, actually he does clutch it, and it's now 1 versus 2 with FV25B being a 1 shot.
But
and
we're 50 cap points away, and even... yeah, game over. Great shot by JP. Really well played by Raid. A very closely matched game there. I think it came down literally to a few points worth of damage. We've got Raid outputting 1500, 860 HP worth of damage to Immortals 1400, 483. Okay, 2 guns still in the game for Raid, but ultimately an extremely close match when you boil it down.
Yeah, and actually, I think it all came down in the late game for the hesitation, as many tanks for Raid were actually badly damaged, like the Jaegeru and one of the IS-7s. FV25B, in my opinion, hesitated a bit too much and more in that case, and like if he would just push in on that IS-7 who's basically isolated, he may have actually gone in and be on time to support his teammates at least a little bit and take focus far away from him.
But it's very difficult on this map in the 215B because you know you have an excellent penetration, excellent gun handling, excellent DPM. However, you can get caught out with a poor armor profile in the city fighting environment. And this is why it's very difficult to know when exactly to deploy the 215B from your team into the Maelstrom. And now we're lining up again. Very similar lineups from both teams. We're still seeing Messi 18 in the Jaegeru from Raid. Also Toby 180 in the mouse, Wait for Green IS7, JP IS7, Fimbuloo IS7, Drizzle back in the IS4, and Rib in the E100 again.
Yeah, as for Immortals, we already see some changes. IMMOR is still in his FV25B, but the other FV25B has been changed for a Foch 155, played by Koga. Then we have 2 IS4s instead of 3 IS4s, 2 mouses and an E5. So basically, one FV has been changed to an Foch 155, which is a really aggressive tank with great frontal armor and really hard to hit on the weak spots.
And I think that's a good call by Immortals. The 215B is good, but I think 2 of them on this kind of map is just a bit too ambitious, especially against an opponent like Raid. The Foch 155, a little bit more close, a little bit more conservative, playing to the armor angles and DPM and lane fighting that you experience on the Himmelsdorf map. But in terms of hit points, it's still neck and neck. The cap lead goes to Immortals at the moment, but both teams running a 2-cap strat. We've got Raid around the red 3, C, and D cap. Immortals very strongly clustered on the A cap with a little bit of defense on the blue B and blue 2 cap.
Yeah, and it seems like Immortals are doing an aggressive push with a Foch 2 S4s and an FV, while their mouse has been taken out near D, and it seems like the points lead will be coming soon enough towards...
Yeah, and they've taken Fimbuloo, and it looks like they're going to knock out Wait for Green very soon, and this is extremely aggressive, although Hammers in the mouse is down from Immortals, Drizzle in the IS4 from Raid is in a lot of trouble, Andre Miku 500 mouse, Immortals down. It's neck and neck at the moment.
Yeah, as we can see, Drizzle just struggled to penetrate the Foch 155. A really strong tank if it's still on the move. If a Foch 1.5 sits still, it's not that hard to aim at the weak spot, which is the viewfinder. But other than that, it's a really strong tank, although its reload and DPM may not be as good as for other destroyers.
So we've got three guns down aside at the moment. However, Raid have established a cap lead, 3 caps over 1. Although JP in the IS-7 battle hardened in the middle of the map is in a lot of trouble. Can he hold on? He's bleeding hit points. However, Kuga, Foch Destroyer 155 down to 40. I'm gonna say a winner in a stronger position, but no! JP bleeding hit points down to 39. What do you think, Ark?
Yeah, JP has gone down right now in 3 versus 3 situation, but the HP advantage and the general spread of HP for Raid is a lot better. I think it will certainly go for Raid unless by some miracle Immortals pull this through, as an Ice 4 can actually do this and a Foch as well. So there goes the FP. And there goes the Yak Panzer. Now it's two mouses. No, it's one mouse and one Neo 100 against a 40 HP Foch 155, which is basically one sneeze away from both Raid team from death. And then you have an IS-4, which is a really strong all-round armored heavy tank, and it has a good gun, but it's not going to be enough against Neo 100 and a mouse.
I agree. I think Raid have got this one. Rib in the E100, 1,753. Well, slightly less hit points now. Toby in the 180. Immortal aren't focusing fire, and this is what they need. They have a 33 hit point Foch Destroyer. Beans gets rammed by the E100. Raid are executing a 3-cap strat. The points are ticking down. They knock out Kuga in the Foch, and it's 3-1 victory to Raid. Wow.
Yep.
What a finish by Raid there.
Yeah, E100, a really great play by Rib on Raid's team, as he just pushes the IS-4 out of the line of fire on the mouse, while a mouse is engaging the 40 HP Foch 155. A really great play, as mouse was in danger of dying, and if that would be the case, a 1v1 which certainly would be won by IS-4 if the IS-4 knew what he was doing. So
Yeah,
really great games by both teams today. Really neck and neck. 3-1 as of now. Oh, so right now it seems like Raid are still being strong. They have not given up, and Immortals, I hope they recover from this and they are ready to play against other clans soon enough.
Absolutely. I think Immortals still have everything to play for. And Raid demonstrating here the power of the super heavy on the Himmelsdorf map. We've got Rib in the E100, 4,448 damage, 2 kills. It's absolutely fantastic damage, even in a random game, let alone a Clan War game. And then we've got Toby 180 in the mouse, excellent damage sponge, 2,761 damage output. But Messi 18, Jaegeru E100, over 3,000 damage on a kill. Really working those angles on the armor profile. That TD, locking down those heavy lanes and managing to swing the balance in the favor of the Raid team. So really well done to Raid, and a very good showing by Immortals, it has to be said, across all games. The games were very close. There weren't any wipeouts really, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's a really competitive clan, as we can see, and I think the more competition is there to be, and I will keep repeating myself, no matter what, as many teams as possible need to be competitive for one or a multiple, like a core of clans to emerge as the super unicorn clans in the European server, in any server in general, and Blitz-Event community with Euroleague and other leagues hopefully coming up soon, uh, going to be the best breeding ground for every single clan to train their skills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's what we're seeing here is the best clans on the European server are honing their skills against one another. They're really perfecting the strategies that they have at hand. They're looking to develop new strategies to counter the kind of things that they're encountering. I mean, just think about Alert. 357s, 4 AMX 50Bs. You've got top clans on the server experimenting with different designs, looking to find a new way to beat some of the best opposition that they're going to encounter. And this is it. I think this is why the Blitz League is so exciting. You've got best clans, the best clans on the European server going head to head against one another and competing in an environment where they understand where the other team is coming from, and okay, there's no prizes, there's no money, there's no gold involved, but the teams, it matters. We spoke to BTHF and we spoke to James from Immortals, BTHF and Win. These guys are taking it really seriously, and that's fantastic to see.
Yeah, I guess when you have all the resources available to you, all the credits, you don't really mind spending some of those credits in training rooms to just increase your skill overall as a team. And by time we will be seeing like teams that will just respond instantly to some situations. They will have a really strong bond between themselves if they did not have if they don't have it developed right now. I really hope that this brings a new dawn upon World of Tanks Blitz, as many tournaments and World of Tanks Blitz itself. It kind of helps, and it does give rewards, but for that you need a lot of training, and it's a lot harder to arrange training against another top clan by yourself than it is to do full-on tournaments, fan-made tournaments from a server of over 900 people. So it's really exciting. I cannot wait for more games to appear, because every single game a new quirk appears, and that's exactly what we as commentators, as viewers, as streamers, as a regular player base are looking towards.
Yeah, and we're going to have a break over the weekend, but we're going to be back into the action with the Blitz event community, the European League, on Monday. We're going to look to a resolution of round 2. We're going to see which 4 of the 6 teams currently in round 2 are going to proceed through to the playoffs and then ultimately the finals of the Blitz European League. This all taking place on the backdrop of Wargaming's spring tournament season. So if you're interested in Clan Wars, if you love World of Tanks Blitz, this is definitely the place to be. It's been an absolute pleasure spending this evening with you tonight. We look forward to seeing you again on future streams. Thank you very much. From my co-commentator, Arkbird, aka myself, Rolling Swole, aka Red, and our streamer for this evening, Gan. You're on the channel. Give him a subscribe, give the videos a like, make sure you stay up to date with the content he's providing, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah.